What's up, people? What's up, people? What is up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another episode of Stadia live session for January 29th, 2021. Hopefully everybody is doing well. Hopefully everybody is doing good. And hopefully y'all ain't too sore at me for my last two videos. I just felt, hey, look, the community's been at a buzz as of late. And I just felt like, hey, if the community is going to be at a buzz and it's going to be in some real white knuckle conversations, let me jump in some of that. Let me get into some of that. But with no further ado, we are here. My homie Munar, and Munar is here first, man. With his anti-Stadia rhetoric. Let's see what one brother. He just says first. Is this going to be a mellowed out Munar, or are we going to get the live wire Munar? That's my question. But with that said, thank you everybody that's either watching this live or watching this VOD, video on demand. Shout out to the brother. And now your mama knows. He says, yo, Pastor, what is up? What is going on, man? I appreciate it. You know what? I was talking to somebody the other day, and they was like, MM2K, you remind us of a pastor. It's like when people are, when I'm playing your stuff, someone is like, who's that giving that sermon? And meanwhile, they find us an old man talking about video games online, and then they say, then their immediate response is, who is that cornball? It's crazy. Also, do me a huge favor, y'all, because I don't have time to fix it. Y'all know I'm janky. Please do not mind that date there. I know it says January 28th. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I was trying to have me a nice little, Swift Hot Pocket. Hey, what's going on as we see everybody building in? Shout out to everybody. Love you guys. Hey, look, here's the thing, y'all. Before we get started, because I generally, well, I'll tell you what, I'll get into that in a little bit, because with my last Stadia live session, I caught myself doing something that really irks me, and it's me doing this, and I got to get better at this, but I'm gonna need y'all help, and hopefully y'all can understand. Speaking of the aforementioned getting older, once you get older, man, you're not quick at this stuff. When I used to work in town instead of working from home, I'm so used to having like multiple screens and stuff. We'd have 3 or 4 screens up, and so many crazy things that we used to do. And I have that same setup at home to try to mimic, what I would do when I was working in town, working on site. And you find that your eyesight is slipping and some things are going on. So I don't know, I might have to remove some screens, or I don't know, reconfigure some things. I've been trying different things, and hopefully in hopes that they would work, but I haven't found the sweet spot as far as the setup is concerned just yet. But with that said, I want to shout out everybody. Hey, look, we see Dazadine in the house. Daz, what's going on? We got Shot G in the house, and now your mama knows. This is, and thanks for being part of the band. As always, man, that was a lot of fun, man. If y'all didn't catch the Stadia Bash hosted by your homie, and now your mama knows, I'll just call him Cowboy for short. My homie Cowboy, y'all know who it is. Cowboy, my homie Spectre, they do a hell of a job. It's basically just a portable version of Stadia Super Saturday, which is even greater because you get that intense, hit after hit feeling throughout the week. I love it. It's a great thing. I was honored to be part of it on Tuesday, where we did, you know how I do. I did my Borderlands stream, and we had a lot of fun doing it. So thank y'all. We got American Goulet in the house. We got my homie Dre in the house as well. Thank you so much. Oh, the homie Shake Capo coming out of hiding, coming out of exile. He said, sorry, can't help with old man problems. Whatever, man. You will, hey, you know what I'm saying? You'll be there soon. So don't even go strutting and talking crap. You will be there soon, my friend. But yeah, thank you everybody for your support. We got Shot G, Dazadini, the homie Charles Aran. How could I forget Charles? Thank you so much. And then we got the homie Kessel Runner. What's going on, man? Good to see you as always. Thank you so much. All right, let me do this. Y'all know how I do. I'm hitting up, we hit up Twitter. So if you could do me a favor, hit that arrow below, share this out, let everybody know that we're live, because I just did this randomly all of a sudden. And I'm going to hit up some places here, drop links, let them know that we're live too. What I wanted to do, but I couldn't go live early enough, is I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about what's going on with GameStop and the whole short market thing. That's kind of in my line of business to a degree. And I know people are confused about it. I'm in like some message boards and some DMs, and people are like, well, what's going on? And I wanted to take the time to try to explain what was going on. I mean, basically what it is that, and again, I'm not trying to take sides here because there are two sides. There is one side that says that this is an ambush of the capitalist market, and there's another side that says that this is just the average Joe Schmo or Jane Schmo doing the same thing that hedge fund people do, and they're just shifting the power of the speculation market in the favor of the people. And this is big. This is a saying where I come from. This is bigger than rap. This is bigger than what y'all know about. This actually started in September, y'all, with the hedge market really crapping on GameStop more than they deserve. I know a lot of people don't like GameStop. I'm one of them. Not the biggest GameStop fan. I used to love Electronic Boutique. I'll try to go over it like real thinly because we don't have a lot of time. But basically what happens is the average Joe Schmo, you and me, when we go invest in stock, we don't have power to move anything. When you see that, oh, so-and-so went up 15% or 12, went down 12%, that ain't got nothing to do with us. We're just going along for the ride. Think of it as the lottery, like when a little pretty lady or the machismo-looking guy picks those balls out of the machine that's popping up. We have no control over it. We just basically put our money down and said, okay, this is what we're betting on. That's basically, the stock market is basically gambling. Same thing when you go to a casino or you go to a horse race or a dog race. You ain't training the dog. You're just putting your money down based upon not speculation, but based upon things that you've heard on how you think so-and-so dog or horse will do. You have no control. You don't get to feed the horse, train the horse, none of that stuff. None of that is in your power. It's in the power of a powerful conglomerate. And that's what basically happens with stocks. A lot of the movement is forced upon nowadays hedge managers, hedge funds, and speculation. Now there's speculation on top of the actual activity. So you'll have a situation where, based upon conversations and rhetoric, someone can influence someone else's stock price. Not the actual performance, but rhetoric and speculation. And these billionaires have created a market within a market based upon that. So you have a situation where people were getting rich off of trying to shoot GameStop down. Hedge fund people hate brick and mortar. They say brick and mortars are going to the tube. They don't like them. They want them out of the market. Now, y'all may feel the same way about GameStop, but there might be another brick and mortar that you don't feel about. And feel the same way about. And I beckon to a saying that my homie Chase says all the time. Just because something directly doesn't affect you doesn't mean that you shouldn't speak up. If something is wrong and you know it's wrong, you should speak up at some level. Because how's the saying go? First they came for the butcher and I said nothing. Then they came for the barber and I said nothing. Then they came for me and there was no one left to help me. So this may start with GameStop. And even though we don't like GameStop, we don't care too much about it. But when they start shorting or trying to undercut brick and mortars that you care about, just because they don't fit into the market the way they want it to, then it's going to become a problem. But you done fed it to the mantra of, if it doesn't pertain to what I like, I don't care about it, whether it's right or wrong. Because you fed into that, when it does pertain to something that affects you personally, then nobody's going to be there to help you. And so even though GameStop has been partisan practices we haven't been fond of retail-wise, you have these billionaire investors trying to undercut the stock because they just don't like brick and mortar. And there are average Joe Schmoes who normally don't have an influence on the market that way. They basically said, well, hold on. That's not right. Y'all are undercutting GameStop just because you don't like the fact that they're a brick and mortar. No, this ain't right and something got to stop. So here's what they've done. All they've essentially done is done the same thing that hedge funds do. Hedge funds go and they make these speculations. They put this rhetoric out there and they put out ideas. And the thing with hedge funds is it's even deeper than that because they'll go and, short of collaboration, they'll have these big meetings, these ski lodge resort things happening where they'll get together and they'll cross these ideas. Now, which stock should we short or go long on this time? Influencing per rhetoric. So all Wall Street Bets is doing is via the internet, just doing the same thing. Hey, look, here goes a cause that we feel is noteworthy. They're not collaborating or doing anything. They're not doing anything against the law. As anybody can see, that's why you really haven't seen, I don't think you've seen the stock market act on it. They're just basically doing what the hedge fund people do. But you see how systematically we've been predisposed to believing that only the billionaires and the rich are allowed to do something? Now that it's average Joe Schmo's doing it, now we feel like there's something wrong. So that's basically what's going on. And people are making money off of this. But they're changing the market, and they're changing the market in a way that is substantial because I know a lot of people fear, well, if you let these average Joe Schmoes control this, it's going to destroy the market. No, this deals with a certain sector of the market, which is short trading. Short trading got a whole bunch of sliminess to it altogether. I mean, you can make an argument for shorting, which basically shorting is you're betting that a stock is overpriced and it's going to balloon and pop. And so therefore you place a bet that it's going to do that. There's an argument for shorting stock, but it's not the argument that there is for shorting stock is not what it's mainly used for. It's mainly been used for slimy stuff by hedge fund managers. So that's the stemmy of it. We're going to talk about it a lot more tonight on a show that I host on my other channel, MM2K Videos. That show is called The Commission. So if you would opine, go there, set your reminder. We're going to talk about this in detail so everybody understands and they know what's going on. But I thought it was a fun discussion to have tonight. And that's going to air tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the homie Charles Aran. He says, the thing that people may not realize is that even privately owned game stores use GameStop's policies, models. I don't know about the chains. And the homie Zogic says, zups up. All right, let's get into some gaming talk, y'all. That's what y'all came here for, right? Let's go to our first subject matter at hand. All right. So I know a lot of you may have some issue with a pair of videos that I posted this morning and one late yesterday. So we're going to deal with the one that I posted this morning first. The one that I posted this morning talks about Madden 2K21 on Stadia. All right. In that video, we talk. Oh, well, you know what? Before I go any further, let me do this. The homie Amunor says, and now they want to make it illegal for the. Yeah, exactly. They want to make it illegal for the average Joe to make some money. That's the feeling that I'm getting from this. And I don't like that. I get the angst that people that are not familiar with this, that may, for lack of a better term, be ignorant to how the market works. This is addressing shorting stocks. And it addresses the power that hedge funds have on shorting stocks, which again, 8 to 9 out of 10 times when shorting is being done, it's done in a slimy way. It's done in a way to influence what should exist or what shouldn't exist. And that's not right. Regardless of how we feel about GameStop, it could be another brick and mortar that a hedge fund don't like, and they can get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? So like we got this place called oh, I forgot. It's a comic book. It's tabletop gaming. It's a real pillar of the of Pittsburgh. And I forget the name of it. Oh, Ides Comics. Big pillar of Pittsburgh. If you ever hear, go look up Ides Comics. Now let's just say there was a chain of Ides. And they were like, oh, what is it? And hedge fund people were like, oh, what's this nerdy stuff? Because it's hard to sell comics online. People want to do that stuff up front. They want to check, make sure that it's in mint condition, all that stuff. It's hard. I know it's being done, but it's hard to do it online. So you got to have brick and mortars to support that. So what if Ides were to become a national chain, do well, and then people on the, what's it called, don't like it? So they get upset. So hedge fund managers don't like it, and they try to get rid of Ides. For my comic book collectors, y'all wouldn't like that. And speaking of the homie Chase says, shout out to the homie Chase with the $5, man. Thank you so much, good brother. Also a member of the Stadia Dosage News member community. We're going to talk about that in a second. SLS Live, happy Friday, MM2K. Love you, brother. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you so much. And I got a chance to sit with my brother Chase. Definitely go to the Gaming Advocate channel after this and check out that great discussion me, him, and the homie Ray Sherrod had yesterday. It was a fantastic discussion. One that I think that the community right now needs to listen to and opine as we get into more complex discussions about things that are going fantastic about Stadia, things that they may need to tweak, and how we need to, probably get a little bit better at interacting with each other. You know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to Chase. And this is what I want to say too. As I was alluding to earlier, age is creeping up on me. And I'm not capping, I'm not making no excuse. Age is, when I do these live sessions, I immediately go cut it off and go pick up my wife because I'm running late. Then she beats me up. And then I come back and I read the comments because I still have the graphic user interface from Streamlabs sitting up there. And I'll read it and I'm like, damn, that was a great comment. Oh man, I wish I'd have caught that. It's hard for me to catch a lot of your comments because I'm going into my rants. And even though this is an open mic, you know the format. I go into my rants. You guys are going, you're going live in the chat. The chat is bumping and all of this stuff, and I might miss some comments. So the best way to catch my attention is like here. My homie Chase just did. Hit the super chat. And again, a lot of your comments, it ain't even got to be a $5 super chat. A $2 super chat will be enough to say whatever you got to say. And it'll help highlight a lot of the great stuff that you guys got to say because I've been going back to these chats. I'm like, dang, you know what? I went on a rant about this, but maybe I should have talked about this. This is great. This is a community forum, and you guys got some great stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we want to open up this platform, the Stadia Dosage platform. We're going to separate it from it being so synonymous solely with MM2K and make it more synonymous with the Stadia community. So yeah, definitely, if you guys got something that you're saying and you want it noticed beyond just it being said in the chat, and it's something that you want me to cover, definitely to catch my attention so I don't miss it while I'm in my rant, hit that super chat button. You know what I'm saying? Just put a blurb out there. I'll definitely catch it. I'll stop what I'm doing and get into it. Shout out to the homie Rick Tone in the house. What's going on, Rick Tone? Amador says, Robinhood app didn't allow me. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that was some sucker stuff. It's like, I don't like that. I particularly don't like that. Because now you're trying to protect the hedge funds. But see, here's the thing with Robinhood, y'all. I mean, and real quick, we're going to get into the news real quick. What y'all don't realize with Robinhood is even though they don't charge you on transactions, they kind of hit you on the spread. So you're actually like kind of paying more. But what it is they're skimming off your revenue. So it makes it somewhat, you're paying for convenience though. It makes it more convenient because they're skimming off your revenue. Like say if in a sale, you would have made $1,000. But when you sell stock, it's like what, $5 a trade per every 10 stocks or something. So you got to have an account that they pull that transaction fee out of. They don't take it out of your revenue. You got to have money sitting in your account first to pay for that transaction. And then they give you your money. And a lot of people may not have that. They might be making a big trade on their end, and they don't have a lot of money, liquid cash sitting in their account. So that's where Robinhood makes it more convenient, where they just skim you off the top. But then there's what they're skimming off of is a lot more than what those transactions will be. So you're paying for the convenience. But by you paying for that convenience, what it did, y'all, is it allowed you, the average Joe Schmo, to do more transactions. And that's what led to the power of this movement. And it's a movement to keep your eye on, definitely. Shout out to the homie, Chase, the gaming advocate. Again, he says, it's Friday. Let me make it 10. I appreciate it, good brother. Thank you so much. He says, healthy discourse is, or in the words of Ray, embrace debate. Absolutely. And we try. What I'm going to try to do is we might need to make that a hashtag. We got to talk to Ray Sherrod. Embrace debate. Because there's a lot to debate about. This is a new platform. And again, there's a lot of ambiguous stuff because we got to be honest. Stadia keeps a lot of stuff close to their vest. Whether you think it's a good strategy or not, that's a whole other discussion. So there's going to be a lot of debate. It's okay. It's all right. Let's not get at each other's throats about it. If you think that a point of view is off for whatever reason, explain it. Explain it. That's all. Social media, explain it. Let's use social media for some good and not for venom all the time. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only difference is when you got publications, big name publications, the elitists trying to spread lies on purpose. That's when we got to band together. We got to shut that down. But I'm talking about when we talking with each other. We talking with our brothers and sisters. I feel like we're brothers and sisters in this community. When we talking with our brothers and sisters, man, there's not got to be so much venom. And again, if you think a point of view is off, explain why. That's all. And again, if you're going to put a point of view out there, and you're putting it out there off of emotion, and somebody come back and like, well, hold on. Let's cross them T's and dot them I's. Let's kick them tires. Don't get mad. It's not about being right or what's wrong or being right or wrong. It's about fostering discussion and hashtag embracing debate. I like that. I think what we should do as Team Stadia is maybe make a hashtag out of that, embracing debate. Maybe in 2021 we can get better at that. All right. Also heard this idea too. This was an idea floated by many of you in the community and especially the homie Project Storm. It says y'all should do a podcast together that deals with gaming advocacy. I agree. I like that. I totally like that. I do. I like that. I mean, I grew up in the thicket of the broadband bullies where it's a lot of debate and a lot of it is meant to be comical and semi-disrespectful, let's be honest. I entertain it. I think it's funny sometimes as long as we keep it in a realm of just, having fun. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those debaters that like to disrespect people. I can if you want to take me to. There's been I'm guilty. I've been on film where a couple times where people have really been disrespectful over video games, for crying out loud. And I said, well, what the hell are you? What are we doing here? And I had to turn up the juice. Not here, but on the crumb side. It's not even necessary here at all because I don't think that's anybody's intent here. And I don't even want it to even get into this avenue here. Things just get disrespectful over there just because. If you don't think like me, you're an idiot. That's the mind state a lot of times over there. And like I said, when it's done in a comical sense, in a roasting sense, for me, it's fun and entertaining. I grew up with a lot of uncles. All we did was rip on each other. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up in an atmosphere like that. We had a lot of fun, just making fun of each other and making fun of ourselves sometimes, being self-deprecating. But when you're purposely trying to demean and belittle somebody, that's a whole different avenue. And I don't just sit back for that, to say the least. The homie Aminor says, do you own stocks, MM2K? I do own Sony and Microsoft stocks. That's why I want Stadia go. Hey, yo, Aminor, I'm gonna time you out for that one. No, I'm just joking. This dude is stupid. Aminor, I can't stand you, brother. I do own stock. And I do recommend, I'm going to try to take the serious side of that question. I do recommend that everybody owns stock. You can sign up for Scott's Trade. This is how I got started. You can sign up for Scott's Trade for as little as $500. And my recommendation is, versify your portfolio. If you want to just get a taste of it, look for mutual funds that you can invest into. Chasing single stocks is too time consuming. Look, get your feet wet with like a mutual fund. If you can invest into it, just put like $50 a month into it or something like that via Scott's Trade and watch that grow. I like European indexes. I love European indexes. They've been doing great. I got a lot of European indexes in my pension. So look for a lot of European-based stocks. Things, European indexes, they're doing well. Get your feet wet. And every now and again, if you hear something crazy like what's going on now, but I'm going to tell you right now, Scott's Trade charges you for each transaction. So you can't do something like this on Scott's Trade where it requires a lot of rapid selling and buying for you to get the best out of it. You're going to have to go to a program that's like Robinhood, but that allows you to trade in these stocks that are of question right now. Robinhood does it, but there are some other stock venues that people are going into. But this is my recommendation. Because of what's going on now, I would, just to get your feet wet, to understand and get a taste of the stock market, open up a $500 Scott Trade, talk to a consultant, see what mutual fund you can get into, put $50 into that a month. And that'll be your safe money. And you'll watch that. When you'll watch that grow, and you'll be surprised how well that grows. Then I recommend opening up a second account, a more volatile account, like a Robinhood account, to do these type of transactions. But that's only if you got the money to do it. So if you're working with $1,000, take $500, put it in Scott. I love Scott. Put it on Scott. I know a lot of people like Fidelity, but Fidelity, you got to have a little bit extra cheese to deal with them. Their pricing is, you got some cheese to deal with Fidelity. Start off, put 500 in Scott, put 500 in like a Robinhood type of thing, where they don't charge you per trade, but they skim a little bit more off the top on your revenue. And then watch what's going on here. They're calling them stonks now. And watch what's going on with the stonks. You know what I mean? So that's what I recommend you do. If you got 1,000 that you can do that with, the 500 will be safe in Scott's Trade, put it in a mutual fund. The other 500 is what's going to be a little bit more volatile, more risky. You know what I'm saying? But again, I always have a vehicle where you can introduce yourself to the market. And I think that's the best way to do it. All right. Charles Array, Gaming Advocate says Charles Array and the Stadia. Yeah, let's do it, man. We should do it. My weekly podcast on Friday while eating. Great work, MM2K. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the support. I can't do this without you guys. You see and also, before we get started, we're already 30 minutes in. I ain't even talked about nothing. Before we get started, you see the logos next to the homie Chase, the homie Dre. You know what I'm saying? Those are they're members. They're members of the Stadia Dosage News community. And what they've done is they've joined the community and they're getting extra content. Like later on today, you guys are going to see my first look on Madden. I'm doing all this talk on Madden. But if you want to see that first game, which was a nail biter, me emulating the AFC Championship game from last week of the Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs. If you want to see that, definitely go to hit that join button below and become a member of this great Stadia Dosage News community. Also, the last piece of, well, I don't want to say the last piece, but three of our promised weekly piece of content, which is Channel Talk, that reviews the previous week's worth of commentary, will be airing between today and tomorrow, just so you guys are aware. All right, let's get into it, man. Topic 1, Madden, new king of ports, baby. Yes. Here's why I say that. It just looks the best and is the smoothest. And the textures are the best. Shout out to the homie Gamer Life TV. He's been doing a lot of analysis. He's been very, I want to say, he's been a big activist. And that's another perfect example of this. He's been a big activist on holding these developers feet to the fire because they're not utilizing the platform to its best. Like, I do think it's kind of it's semi-disgraceful. And I know I'm using some big rhetoric here, but I ain't gonna lie, I do think it's semi-disgraceful for Ubisoft to have Division 2 look as great, as fantastic as it does, and run as great as it does. But then you go to a game like Far Cry 5, which is an older game. And that game, it's not cutting it the way that it should be. There should be a 60 frames per second mode. There shouldn't be a 30 frames per second mode and a 4K 25 frames per second mode. And I'm starting to feel like I don't know who was responsible for this. I don't know if it was Stadia, the developers, or a combination of both. But I'm starting to feel like ever since, like we did have 130 frames per second game, which was Final Fantasy 15, right? And that was the outlier. But then it seems like ever since Elder Scrolls Online hit the scene, and that was received well, that people thought it was okay. So then right after that, you had, what do you call that damn game? Which was really a disappointment to me. I know a lot of people say it's a good game, but I can't play it in no 30 frames per second. Serious Sam 4. Serious Sam is a Twitch shooter series, like a Doom, super fast movement and all that other stuff. So I have an expectation, you know, and I get, look, and so it's like if you go to a steak house and you get one of the finest cuts of steak and you're ready to dig into it. And when you bite into it, you're like, hold on, this damn thing tastes like chicken. And the chef comes out and they're like, oh, yeah. What we did is we took all this poultry seasoning and we took all the sage and we infused it into the steak. And now we got steak that tastes like chicken. Now, at the end of the day, that may be a tasty proposal, but you came for a specific reason. When I booted up Serious Sam 4, I wanted to play a fast Twitch shooter because that's what I'm used to from that series. That series was a bonding moment for me and my brother. We played that game a lot when we were roommates. So that game has sentimental value. So I came to the steakhouse for some steak, some tasty steak. I ain't come for no steak that tastes like chicken. It might be a tasty proposal, but that's not what I came here for. And that's how I felt about Serious Sam 4. Great, it might be a great game in a lot of ways, you know, as not a Twitch shooter. But when you take that Twitch shooter appeal away from it, it's not what I came here for. So then you started seeing it with Serious Sam. Now, you see it with Baldur's Gate, but Baldur's Gate really ain't got to be 60 frames per second. You know what I'm saying? It's really a game, but you saw it with Baldur's Gate. Then you saw it with Far Cry 5, right? Then you had an issue where the Stadia version of Immortals launched with a 60 frames per second mode, but then they took it away and then they brought it back, you know, and you got a whole bunch of so it started to seem like as we got towards the end of the year that either Stadia was feeling some type of way about the turnover of games coming to the platform. And they felt like, and they probably, I don't know if they said to people, look, don't worry about optimizing it too much. Just get the game on here, goddammit. Excuse my French. I don't know if that was it. I don't know if developers just themselves said, you know what, we ain't got time. We know that y'all set this. We know that Phil Harrison sat on the stage and set the 60 frames per second standard, right? But, hey, look, you also had, was it Machine Games or whoever, ID, that does do. Y'all said that would be native 4K, and that wasn't, and y'all still survived and moved on. So Look, we got a slew of games that just ain't gonna be 60 frames per second, even though that's a supreme selling point of the platform right now. Or a little bit of both. So it was starting to get disheartening a little bit to see how people were approaching porting games to Stadia. And especially when you see other platforms where you know the performance just isn't as good, it's not as capable as Stadia. I'll put it like that. They're just not as capable as Stadia, but you're seeing versions of that game perform better there in some regards for some people. You know, the thing with Amazon Luna is that if you're at an optimal server blade or you know what I'm saying, if you got access to a great server blade, you'll get performance that is super fantastic. I've seen it. I've seen the homie Ashes and other people play Amazon and Luna and get these great, performance out of it. I can't. So it is not there yet. That's okay. It's still early for Amazon. They still working on some things, and they'll be there. But Stadia, you already know, is there, at least as far as performance is concerned. And people are they're shunning it. So when Madden came, I was surprised that Madden performed as well as it did. And it shows you that if you put enough effort in this platform, that it will be fantastic. Now, another game that I heard which was great as well is Shakiro Die Twice. I heard that was another great port too. Shadows Die Twice. So I think that's gonna be the challenge in 2021. We're gonna see more and more games coming to the platform. But are they going to be done haphazardly, or are they going to be done properly? Are they going to be done the Division 2 and the Madden way, which is now the new king of ports? Because I'm telling you, Madden just looks. I know what y'all saying. We're so used to, we're so inclined to saying Division 2 is the best port. That Madden is the best port now. The textures, even nothing to take away from Division. Division is super fantastic. It's super fantastic. But Madden is super fantastic. Bippity called out another one. He said, Crew 2 don't play it. Yeah, see, Ubisoft, man. I ain't gonna look. He says, yeah, Crew 2 needs 60 frames per second mode. On the bright side, it does play 60 frames per second mode on either Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5. Ubisoft is the most disappointing aspect of all this. Ubisoft went from being the beacon of light that we thought that would shine on Stadia and get it and keep it close to premier status. I didn't expect it coming out of the gates to be a premier platform. I knew it would take some time, but we thought that Ubisoft would be that platform that would give it its all 24/7, put its all into Stadia to where people will be like, ooh, well, this is Stadia presents a great alternative to Game Pass. So let me hop on that. We thought it would be coming earlier, and we thought there would be like more robust titles on there. We haven't seen that yet. So we really haven't. And then on top of that, even though they made the announcements of their cloud partnerships with Stadia first, they're showing more love to Amazon. And I get it's easier to port games to Amazon, but we've already seen their works again with the games that they've done earlier on. And it looks like now that we're getting later in the year, they're doing less and less. So, yeah, Crew 2 is another one. I'm disappointed at that relationship. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in several factors. But thank goodness for Cyberpunk and some other things. And thank goodness for EA, crying out loud. Thank you. That EA is now have brought over such a fantastic port, and it runs so well on the platform. Zogic says, I agree visually Madden is a better port, but Division 2 still wins on crossplay with PC and Stream Connect. That integration, yes. Zogic, see, if we were having an SML, I would tell you to call in and at me, Zogic, at me. No. Zogic, you make a very great point, man. And it's hard for me to battle that. You see my wheels are spinning right now. But which in my mind what trumps that connectivity. Like, you're right. If Madden and Division 2 were in the same if they were on the same level as far as recognition and saturation, yes. This is how you do a port for Stadia. It's a young platform, so you make it not only look good, but perform good, and you have crossplay with PC. Yes, you're absolutely right. But minus that crossplay with PC, which I am confused on why that isn't there, but I'll take it as it is right now. Minus that crossplay with PC, I still say that the fact that it looks so damn good on Madden, and now that you can take Madden on the go, you ain't got to deal with Madden Mobile. I mean, this is the full-fledged AAA Madden. You can take Madden on the go, your Madden game, your AAA Madden experience with you on the go. That kind of trumps that cross-play at the moment. But you're absolutely right, Zogic. It's not really that you're wrong. I just think that the reason why I'm calling it the king of ports is because of the potential outreach that Stadia has. I mean, that Madden has on the platform. Its potential reach is so big that it ever so slightly trumps that crossplay. But you're right. This is how you want to do a game. You're absolutely right. This is exactly how you want to do a game. You want to do a game like how you do Division 2 at the base level. It's hard to argue against that. So you lucky, Zogic, ain't no SML, brother, this weekend, because I'd have you call it. No. The Zogic makes a hell of a point. I don't know what the hell this. Hold on. Why did this just stop all of a sudden? Can I go to the next video? Here we go. He says it definitely close, so I understand where you're coming from. No, Zogic, you make a great point, though, bro. It's hard to argue against that. I tried my best. I would try to intimidate you on the phone and have you give up. But that's a great point. No, I will say this. How about I'll concede this way, Zogic? Because I'm not giving up my stands. It's the king of ports. I don't care what y'all say. The whole damn community can be mad at me. I don't care. No, I'll concede this way. At a programming level, at an integration level, the standard is Division 2. But as far as how you handle the big ticket, the launch was smooth. The launch was smoother than the Divisions. Y'all remember my 2-hour rant? I was going crazy. The launch was smoother, and this is a bigger game. This is how you want to handle big games on the platform. Like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I would have liked to seen. I wasn't expecting too much out of Watchdog Legions. I knew that would kind of be like a messy port, just because of how the scope of the game. And when you're dealing with NPCs doing this and that, games always get, especially with Ubisoft, they get messy. But I was expecting a way better port of Assassin's Creed Valhalla than we got, and I was really disappointed. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I'll concede that way. Procedurally, setup wise, Division 2. There's got to be some crossplay too. But as far as how you want to approach the big ticket games, Madden is perfect. Madden is ever so perfect. Yep, and that's what I was saying. If they do a Super Bowl commercial, that can be big. Hopefully, they don't drop the ball. Yeah, I want to finish off with that. I know in my video, I was harsh on Stadia, and I said, what the hell are they doing? How come there is no commercial? How come there's no logo? And I know there's complications with who has the marketing rights, right? There is that complication, but but let me show you something. Y'all know how I do. Let me show you something. I can find that mug. Here we go. This is the press release from EA. They said Electronic Arts. NFL announced Snoop Dogg, Marshawn Lynch, and more to compete in Pro Bowl, the Madden NFL 21 edition, presented by Verizon. Now, I get from a video game aspect, I think Xbox has the marketing rights, right? I think Xbox has marketing rights. But you would think, I don't see an Xbox logo anywhere. But you would think that Stadia would be able to sneak their name or their logo in here somewhere, some way, somehow. Like if Snoop could wear a Stadia shirt, Stadia just give him a duffel bag somewhere, somehow. Or let Snoop do a video with him playing on. All right, y'all, I'm trying out this game on Stadia, y'all. We're gonna try it out for shizzle. Yeah. I'm gonna hit them, I'm gonna plop them on the field and put their head in the dirt like splat. LBC. If we can find some way to get Snoop and Marshawn Lynch, you gotta count your chickens. We can get you to count your chickens and busting their heads up in the dirt like splat. And we can get them to have a Stadia shirt, something on there. I mean, I'm not going. If I worked at Stadia, I'm letting you know. If Google were to hire MM2K, and they would be like, Moss, this is going to be a tough one, bro, because Microsoft has the marketing rights. I don't know legally what is our recourse or what we'd be able to do. You know what MM2K is doing? I'm not going home. I'm not going to sleep. I'm not even having no wings or no proper 12. Not until I find a way can I get Snoop to go like splat Stadia. If I some way I'm going to get somebody out of that ilk to mention Stadia and show that this game is playing on Stadia that has proper legal ramifications that won't get me in trouble. I'm going to the law library. I'm reading books. I'm doing whatever I can. Like, you can't miss this opportunity. This game is fantastic on Stadia. And again, the only platform, see, this is where I know a lot of people love GFN, and I'm not here to dog any other platform. I know a lot of people love GFN, and if you like it, I love it, right? That being said, the reason why Stadia, one of the reasons why Stadia is my preferred platform is, see, pretty much all of the major developers and publishers are on board, except for Fortnite. So meaning that the overwhelming majority of the big ticket games, guess where they at? They're on Stadia. Guess where they're not? They're not on GFN. Activision don't want nothing to do with GFN. And we see that they were somewhat involved in this partnership with Shakiro, even though the developers published the game, but it's still Activision's IP, I believe. Then, you know what I'm saying, you got 2K. Now, they've been kind of iffy on their interaction with Stadia, right? But they're there, and they're not on where? GFN. Now you got EA. So now you got a prospect to where the only place to play the full AAA version is where? On Stadia. Can't beat that with a stick, y'all. All right? So that's my message to Stadia. I don't know who got the heart or because that's what I do for my company. I've been in situations like that. I've been in situations where we were in serious deep doo-doo over acquisitions or transactions or client relationships. And our sales and marketing team went home. I was nowhere. I had nothing to do with sales and marketing, but because I interacted with them so much, I knew what they did. So I would stay the whole weekend and figure it out. They come in on Monday like, yo, you got here early. Oh, I never went home. What? I mean, yeah, I went home to shower, but I came right back here. Here goes our answer. What? Yes. This is that big. You got to find some way, and maybe they have, but I get that there's complications, but you got to find some way. And with the will, there is a way. There is a way out there. You just got to discover it. To get your name associated with Madden and it being available on the system, and now it being the way that you can officially play Madden on the go. I can tell there's complications because if you go to the state, let me see here. If you go to the Stadia, if you go to Stadia's video page, let me see your Stadia. If you go to Stadia's page, you don't even see Madden on here. Have y'all noticed that? You don't see Madden on here because of the marketing rights. And we know Xbox plays dirty. You can't tell me nothing. I know they got something to do with that whole Doom Eternal 1800p is you know what I'm saying, is standard with both Stadia and Xbox all of a sudden when they promised native 4K. I mean, it didn't make the game horrible or bad at all, but I'm just saying, we know Xbox plays dirty when it comes to Stadia because they feared them for whatever reason. So you know they're probably being extra harsh on this marketing, but there's something that can be done and that they got to do. This is too big of an opportunity. All right. So before we go, there's one more thing I want to show y'all. Let's talk about one more thing. Shout out to my homie Tim Dog. Like I tell y'all all the time, I got a lot of friends that are in the that do this, that do content creation. I got a lot of friends that do this, right? And a great friend is Tim Dog. We jive each other a lot, you know, in public, behind the scenes. He cracks on Stadia, I crack on Xbox. We go at it, but it's all love. Tim Dog is one of those people outside of my broadband bully brethren on the crumb side of things that I have like an infinite amount of respect for, because he's just a genuine dude. I know people don't like when they hear this Xbox rhetoric from him, but it's all spirited and fun, and it's just based upon his love of Xbox. One thing about Tim Dog that I will say that is unique is that, see, you have a lot of people, a lot of things that happen in the crumb side. Relationships go sour, and I've been a recent victim of it. I've been talking to some people behind the scenes about it, but you have some people that don't like you no more because you like something else. And they turn the trinket on you because you like something else. You don't like the piece of plastic that they like anymore. So they do you wrong. You and you see a lot of that in this community. People judge people based upon the piece of plastic that they like. I've never done that. Like, some of my best friends in this community are people that don't agree with me on gaming whatsoever. As a grown man, how can I judge you as a person based on what video games you like? To me, that's absurd. But you got a sect of people that think that way. Oh, you don't like this, or you don't like that. You're a horrible person. I can say Tim Dog is not like that. Tim Dog is respectable and friendly and caring to everybody. Y'all may see a lot of rhetoric, in public, but behind the scenes, he's a great guy. And he's a great guy in front of the scenes too. He likes to sling his Xbox bud. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Again, if you like it, I love it. I just be on that ass sometimes. Like, no, Tim, you ain't getting away with this one, bucko. But I love Tim Dog. But Tim Dog put something out here that I think is very interesting before we go to talk about. And it's this thing, it just shows you how segmented that the mainstream gaming community is from what Stadia is trying to do to actually have this state of thought. So Tim Dog often puts out there his suggestions and thoughts about what moves Xbox is doing, and he's right a lot of times because Tim Dog ain't going to tell you no confidential information, even though he's connected. Like I said, he's connected to Phil Spencer and a lot of people. These are people that he talks to on the phone. But he has enough integrity where he's not going to share that information with you. I've seen people try to, and Tim is like, go fly a kite into a thunderstorm. But Tim Dog will give you insight on things that he doesn't even know, but he's guessing upon too. And because of he kind of understands how the gears and levers work there, he's often right on some stuff. But this is gives you a good pair into maybe some of the mind state there and how siloed it is in regards to what Microsoft or people connected to Microsoft may be thinking about Stadia. So Tim Dog says why Xbox will go crazy on securing more IP is because they want it to be so far gone that Amazon and Google just say it's a lost cause. Meaning that Amazon and Google are going to say, you know what? Xbox bought so much IP that we can't buy IP too, so we can't get into this gaming thing. Sony, now he says Sony isn't a threat, I believe, as they're talking about organically growing this awesome set of studios. I'll be at 13 or so. All right, I don't want to deal with this latter part because this just deals with their ongoing console war battle with Sony. I want to deal with this former part. Now, why this is so out of touch is for the simple fact that, and I'm going to speak for Amazon too, Amazon and Google's, I know there's interest to buy studios to make content that is exclusive. But when you think about, see exclusivity is the game for 100, 200, 300 million console gamers. That's the thing there. When you're talking about reaching 1 billion gamers through PC, phone, or mobile, it's not about exclusive content. It's access. It's access and extenuation. It's the double A theory. I'm going to coin that phrase right now. It's the double A theory. It's access and it's an accentuation. And what do I mean by access and accentuation? It's how easy it is for me to access, for instance, Madden on the go. Well, I can do it with Stadia. Can I do it with Xbox? No. Can I do it with Amazon? No. Stadia might be my platform of choice. Or, all right, I can, let's just say in an ulterior universe, I can access Madden on the go on all of those platforms. But where is it the best experience? It's the smoothest, it's the greatest. I get more options, it's quicker, it's easier, it's zippier on Stadia. That's going to be my platform of choice. That's what it's going to boil down to. Not this exclusive content thing, because look, here's the thing what people don't understand. PC gaming, which there are 1.2 billion PC gamers, that well dwarfs console gaming. There's 1.2 billion PC gamers. To them, it's those 1.2 billion PC gamers, it's all about access. It's not, exclusively we got Arma 3. They don't care about that solely. They care about access to games that perform and the accentuation of them. They perform a certain way. So again, when you're in that sub tier, and yes, I'm calling it sub tier of 200 to 300 million gamers, exclusive content is what roams in that roams in that mindset. But when you get to them billion gamers, They think outside of that box. It's not about exclusive content solely. Numero uno is extension and access. And that's the thing that Stadia, and that's the thing that Amazon is banking on. So Xbox can buy all the studios in the world. That's not stopping Amazon. That's not stopping Google. And I think this is part of the problem that Microsoft finds itself in, is that it's always playing catch up to the current mind state. Google is working on technology that, regardless if they buy, whoever they buy, I know there's rumors they're going to buy Sega or whatever. If they buy Sega, Sega's not going to have access to this technology. Google will. And they'll share that with whomever they buy. So it's not about buying up these studios. That's a game for the 200, 300 million console world. Again, when you get to the 1.2 billion world, it's about access and accentuation. How frequent, on how many devices, or how easy can I access all these games? How do they play? Where do they play best? And if this is the mind state, if this is the mind state beyond my homie Tim, if this is the mind state at Xbox, they got a long way to go. So with that said, we're going to close out, but we're going to go to a couple of comments here. Dosage says, I decided to give xCloud another shot, and it's performing a little bit better now. Works well for me as I mostly play mobile Luna 2. The homie Ashes to Ashes says, Tim Dog, one of those RDX crew. Charles Aran says, I play cloud or mobile because I like the handheld experience. I play Stadia, Luna, and GFN. Yeah. Luna, I'm having some issues with as far as performance and stuff. But no, of course, Stadia is first, and then I love GFN. When GFN sometimes can have some spotty performance, like, you'll play a game like Roku, or I'll play a game like Roku. I'll play the big ticket games on GFN, and they're flawless, like Destiny or Roku. Like, whoa, this is amazing. But then I'll play a game like I forgot, Remnant, Returned from the Ashes, which is one of my favorite games of the last couple years, and it performs horribly there. I know this isn't a commercially fan favorite, but Fallout 76, don't like how Fallout 76 plays on GFN at all. But again, but then on the flip side of that, Immortals Phoenix Rising, my dear Lord, Immortals Phoenix Rising plays fantastic on GFN. That's oh my God, they put their foot in that one. Ashley says, I love Xbox, but I love Stadia, Luna, PS, and more. I'm just a gamer, man. Maker of Chaos says, agreed, I go where the games are at. Absolutely. If Microsoft keeps on buying up studios, it's going to end badly for them. Yeah, again, it's the direction. And we were talking to David Jaffe, who is the creator of God of War. We were talking to him on Broadband Bullies before he started hitting the Chitlin circuit, as we say. Before he hit the Chitlin circuit and became this famous YouTuber. We were talking to David Jaffe on Broadband Bullies on our show, The Best Damn Podcast, period. And David Jaffe says, as much as he has a lot of respect for Game Pass and he loves Game Pass, and now you see him arguing in favor of Game Pass, he says you got to be honest. You got to question the management style of Xbox. Like, can they manage these people into success? Can they oversee these people? Like when you had God of War that was being revamped, Yoshida said, no, you're not putting that out there. Like, hell no, that's going to make us look bad. You can't put that out there. Redo this, right? And you didn't see the same with Crackdown. You saw Phil say, we want Crackdown to be the best, and it came out and it wasn't the best. You know what I'm saying? Hellblade or Bleeding Edge. Now they're shutting down upgrades on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sony takes a lot more care in their name. sake and the stuff that is their IPs. And what David Jaffe was saying is that that's where they got to get better at. It's not just about buying the best superstars in the world. Like, for instance, if you're a basketball fan, you're seeing in the Jersey Nets, they got 3 of the best superstars in the world. And they're losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, they're doing a little bit better, but these games are too close. It's all about management. You know what I'm saying? So that's the question. And David Jaffe poised that, I think spot on. Stadia Rev says lunch break, check it in. Hey, good to see you, Stadia Rev. And now your mama knows says I only play Stadia, but I used to use xCloud, but my issue is too long for a game to start. Yeah. Really the only cloud service that doesn't have any downloads, even though they may be faster on GFN in some cases. Like these aren't like it's Stadia. You see what I'm saying? Like if you boot up an Ubisoft game on even GFN, there is a download process. There is an update process you got to sit through. It may be quick in some instances it may not be. Same with Luna, but you ain't got to work because they're ports. One is a port on Luna. The other one is just a conduit to a PC version that's out there on the cloud. But it's not actually a cloud game. You know what I mean? So, all right, folks. Well, that was a lot of fun. Thank y'all so much for the support. Can't do it without y'all. Now I got to go pick up my wife. But again, great stuff. And check out my video too. We didn't have enough time to cover this, but check out my video too, where I make the argument that Stadia did right in selecting Stadia Pro as its opening business model and not following the Game Pass business model. Why? Because if you crunch the numbers, the Stadia Pro business model, which is a offshoot of the Xbox Live Gold and the PlayStation Plus business model, is more popular than the Game Pass business model. Just to give you some numbers, Game Pass only has a saturation of 2% with its targeted demo. 2%. Models like PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live Gold, and Stadia Pro have a saturation of 33%, at least 33% with its target demo. 33 to 2%. And again, you have maybe 30 million people that have a Netflix gaming style model. 30 million gamers at most. That's combining like 5 different services opposed to just PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold alone. You got over 100 million people paying for those services. Regardless of what the reason is, it's a more popular service. Stadia did right in picking the more popular service to launch with. Cloud gaming is niche and it's not wise. It's not the wisest if you're looking to propel yourself as fast as possible, or to make a lane for yourself to be a niche service and relying upon the niche service. So they did right. And I make that argument. I lay the numbers out. I do the math. I pull out the calculator, all that in that video. So look at my video. Stadia Pro is better than Xbox xCloud. Check it out. And with that said, I appreciate all of y'all. Thank y'all so much. Love y'all. Now it's time to go get my ass whooped for my wife because I'm late. Y'all have a wonderful gaming day. Peace. Oh, don't forget, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, The Commission on the MM2K videos channel. So look up MM2K. When you see my logo, just sub to that channel so you'll be apprised of when we go live. It's going to be a great discussion. We talk all things gaming, including Stadia. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.